After only the 7th rainout in Great American Ballpark history yesterday, the Reds are back in action today. It's interleague play, the first of a weekend 3-game series. The Reds and the Seattle Mariners here on Fox Sports Ohio. Pirates and the Cubs played earlier. In fact, that game just ended with Pittsburgh defeating Chicago at Wrigley Field 6-2. So you see the updated standings. The Reds now in 3rd place in the National League Central Division, 4 games behind the Pirates and 1.5 behind that 2nd place St. Louis club. Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Reds Baseball here on Fox Sports Ohio. Jim Kelch along with Chris Welsh. Glad you're with us for this Friday night fireworks show after the game. Hopefully fireworks during the game as well. Chris, Mike Leake was supposed to start in this game yesterday against the Giants, but it got rained out. He gets pushed back a day. We don't want to miss this guy. He's been way too good.
Well, you know, a lot of people around Cincinnati were not saying that about Mike Leake earlier in the year, but you can say it about him right now. Look at that numbers he's throwing up there on the board. 7 wins, 3 losses. Mike Leake is really showing you that he doesn't need a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to win. He keeps the ball down. He changes speeds. He's on one of those rolls right now where everything that they hit is on the ground. And just take a look at the ERA leaders in the National League here since May the 1st. You may say this is a young man's game. Each guy you see on the board right there, Strasburg, Leake, Jeff Lockman, Pittsburgh, and then, of course, Clayton Kershaw, all 25 years or younger. So all you old guys, get out of the way.
Mike Leake, of course, tied for the team lead with 7 wins. Now, his mound opponent tonight is a former Red. You'll recognize the name, of course, of Aaron Harang, who pitched here for 8 years from 2003 to 2010, now with the Seattle Ball Club.
Oh, you know, the one thing that Aaron Harang has done this year is really cut down on his walks. I mean, he still has got a batter and run average, and especially on the road, and he's given up some home runs, but he's pitched 2 complete games to the Seattle Ball Club, and he's 35 years old, and he knows a lot about pitching in this ballpark. So hopefully the Reds will get some of those balls up in the air like fly ball pitchers have nightmares about here in this ballpark, and Aaron Harang will have a short night in his return to Cincinnati.
Well, the Reds have had a pretty good start to this homestand. 3 wins against the San Francisco Giants. They try to keep it rolling here tonight. One of the guys that will depend on offensively is Jay Bruce. He's not right now a leader in voting for the All-Star team, but the question is, can he make his 3rd straight mid-season Summer Classic appearance?
presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Nice crowd gathering on this Friday night here at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. As you know, it's been cloudy most of the day. Let's get a more in-depth look at the weather for tonight's game. Here's our friend Tim Hedrick from WKRC, Channel 12.
I'll tell you what, I wish I could tell the players that have a little bit of sunshine down there this evening, but there is that slight chance that they could pick up a shower or two during the game. I don't think it's going to be all that wet, but a passing shower, not out of the question. 73 to 72 to 71. Mike Leake needs some support. He needs to see some fire shooting out of these big smokestacks, doesn't he? Enjoy the game, everybody, on Fox Sports Ohio.
Nice cut, Tim. Tonight's weather brought to you by Tri-State Orthopedics. We talk about Jay Bruce trying to make his third straight All-Star team, Chris.
That would really be nice to see that. There's no doubt about it. Jay Bruce has been a real big part of this Reds lineup, right in the middle of the lineup, providing a lot of home runs, and he's among one of the top outfielders out there. There's no doubt about the way he's played today, or this year. Fourth in the league in home runs with 18, and the Reds could use a couple in this series before they head to that All-Star game.
Well, his rankings you see in voting is not very good, but here's his ranking in terms of the National League. As Chris mentioned, fourth in home runs, third in RBIs, first in doubles, and eighth in slugging percentage. He's having a very good year, no doubt, for Jay Bruce. All right, when we come back after the break, Game 1 of this three-game series, the Cincinnati Reds and the Seattle Mariners, the former Red, Aaron Harang, against seven-game winner, Mike Leake. Fox Sports Ohio is brought to you by the Ford F-Series trucks, the best-selling truck in America, 36 straight years. By Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. Book your stay at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time. Eric Wedge is the manager of the Seattle club. He's a native of Fort Wayne, Indiana. I would say that is Reds country. He played collegiately at Wichita State. And here's a lineup that he puts out there tonight for the first game of this three-game series. Brad Miller, Nick Franklin, and Raul Ibanez. Kendrys Morales in the middle. Kyle Seager and Mike Zunino. The bottom three, Michael Saunders, Dustin Ackley, and the right-hander Aaron Harang against seven-game winner Mike Leake.
Mike Leake gets his start tonight. It'll be number 17 on the year. And for him in his major league career, now 95 starts, including tonight for Mike Leake. Overall, he has 10 games over 500 in his career. He's had a good year this year, obviously, from a win-loss standpoint. And quite frankly, that record could be a lot better. The Reds have blown a couple of saves for him. He's pitched in ball games where they've given up some unearned runs. And Mike Leake, well, he's on one of those rolls right now where he's getting a lot of ground balls, changing speeds, and getting those hitters to hit the ball out on their front foot.
Here's a look at Mike's last 3 outings. Boy, he's just really been very, very consistent. Comes in at 7-3 at 2.52 ERA, which is 8th best in the league. Because of the rainout yesterday, the Reds now with 10 games remaining until the All-Star break, meaning each of the fellows in the rotation will get 2. He could be a 9-game winner at the break, and you just wonder if that will be enough to get this 25-year-old to the All-Star game. First pitch in there and a called strike to Brad Miller, young shortstop, left-handed hitter. We are underway from Great American Ballpark. Miller takes another strike, and he's quickly down 0-2. Miller playing in only his 7th game with his team. He's 4 out of 20, where they have really gone through some players on this club. That ball is hit into right center field. Bruce cannot slide and cut it off. That's going to be extra bases, and that's going to, in fact, be 3 for Brad Miller to get this game started for Seattle. First triple for Brad Miller in his big league career.
Yeah, he was probably as surprised as anybody in this ballpark that he got that pitch on an 0-2 count. He's got good plate coverage. That ball was diving away from him, but it was still up above the knees. And not exactly a good pitch by Mike Leake. He ends up giving up a triple. And the Mariners here on the doorstep of bringing in the first run of this ball game.
And that is a real oddity for Seattle. They came into this game with only 5 triples on the season, which was worst in the big leagues. Now a ball cracked to right field by Nick Franklin. That ball disappears, and Seattle has jumped in front by the score of 2-0 here in the top of the first inning on 4 pitches from Mike Leake. That is the 100th home run of the year for Seattle, the 5th of the year for Nick Franklin, and the Mariners jump in front.
Boy, the Mariners are running out some young players. The leadoff hitter is 22. That is a 23-year-old right there, just called up not all that long ago, and he sees the first pitch fastball and says, hey, I like that very much. Former #1 draft pick, and he's got a chance of playing the big leagues, and they're impressing people.
So Miller gets the triple to right center. Franklin gets the home run, and here's the veteran Raul Ibanez. You go from a 23-year-old, a 23-year-old, and now a 41-year-old in Ibanez.
You know, they're kind of used to that in Seattle. Remember the days when Ken Griffey Sr. played alongside Ken Griffey Jr. Raul Ibanez could be the dad to a whole bunch of young men in this lineup, age-wise.
And he's the only player in the Seattle lineup tonight that has faced Leake before. He came in 2 for 9 against Mike Leake in his career. One thing that Seattle has done pretty well this year, hit the ball out of the ballpark, is what gives them the early lead in this game as Ibanez goes out, first baseman to the pitcher Leake covering. Take a look at the Reds defensively behind Mike Leake, brought to you by your Ford dealers. Paul, Chu, and Bruce across the outfield. Frazier, Cozart left side. Phillips, Votto right side of the infield with a battery of Mike Leake. Devin Mesoraco. Devin had a 3-hit game the other night against the Giants. That was a career first for him. He's back behind the plate for Mike Leake again in this game. You notice that the Reds are wearing the white bodied cap tonight with the stars and stripes behind the bone C. That was the hat that they were going to wear in yesterday's 4th of July game, the game that was rained out here against San Francisco. So they'll wear them tonight, and you'll have a chance to purchase those hats as a game-used lid. Only the 7th rain out in the 11-year history of this ballpark yesterday. Giants flew out of here afterwards. They're at home tonight against the Los Angeles Dodgers. You mentioned the Pirates. They won earlier this afternoon at Wrigley Field, Chicago, 6-2. So the Reds start this game 4 behind that first place Pirate team and a game and a half behind the second place Cardinals. Cardinals will be in action tonight at home against the Miami Marlins. Dusty Baker, he's looking for 1 win to tie Jack Hendricks for 3rd all-time managerial wins wearing a Reds uniform. Sparky Anderson, the all-time leader, then Bill McKechnie, then Jack Hendricks at 469, and Dusty Baker right now sitting at 468. Morales now at 2-2. This guy's an interesting story for sure, isn't he, Morales?
Well, you know, he's a guy that broke in and played with the Angels of Anaheim for a long time, and he celebrated back in 2010 a walk-off grand slam that won the ball game for the Angels. And in the ensuing celebration at home plate, when he went to jump on home plate, he came down the wrong way. He fractured his leg, and he consequently missed the rest of the 2010 season. This happened in May now. And then he missed the 2011 season. So that is the perfect example right there, Kendrys Morales, as to why you should celebrate, well, with some temperament.
So after the triple and the home run, a couple of ground outs for Mike Leake, and so he faces Kyle Seager here with 2 out, bases empty, 2 runs home. Seattle in front by a score of 2-0. They come into this game having a late lead in yesterday's contest at Texas, only to give up 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning and lose to the Rangers 5-4. They come in at 11 under, 37 wins, 48 losses. And for the Seattle club has them in 4th place in the 5-team AL West, 12.5 behind Oakland, 6.5 ahead of 5th place Houston. Seager's been swinging a hot bat. He's at 281 overall, putting a 4-game hitting streak and 500 in his last 18 ABs. These are some names that Reds fans, who we consider most of them, of course, National League fans, just don't recognize.
Well, I think there are a lot of Seattle fans that don't recognize these guys. I mean, after all, they're coming up through their organization at a very rapid rate right now. Seattle has essentially been in a rebuilding mode for the last 5 years. But they feel like this crop of kids that they have right now, that then they have advanced them very quickly. In fact, you know, take for instance that they have used 6 different catchers on their roster this year. That's more pitchers, or that's really more pitchers than starting pitchers than the Reds used all last year, except for 1 emergency start.
Leake is facing Seattle for the first time in his career. He's making his 4th interleague start here in 2013. Check that, his 3rd interleague start in 2013. He worked against Cleveland and then down in Texas, and now here against Seattle. Home plate umpire tonight is Hunter Wendelstedt. Alan Porter's at first, Mike Estabrook at second. Crew chief is Jerry Lane. He's over 3rd. Now Seager will get a look at a full count pitch from Mike Leake here in the top of inning number 1. Mike Zunino, the catcher, waiting on deck. Hit hard, and that's another hit, the 3rd of this inning for Seattle against Mike Leake and the Reds. And so Seager keeps his hitting streak going, a modest 5.
Mike Leake right now, you see where that his pitches are landing in the strike zone. A lot of them are up. When Mike Leake is on his game, those balls are down around the knees, or about 2 or 3 inches below the knees. That's where he has to live.
Now he'll go back to working from the stretch and face Mike Zunino, one of the many catchers that this team has gone through this year. This fellow's just been up now under a month. Made his big league debut on the 12th of June. Mike Zunino, a 1st-round pick.
Yeah, last year this time he was packing his bags, leaving Gainesville, Florida, from the University of Florida to head out to the minor leagues for the Seattle Mariners. #1 draft pick, led that ball club just about every year he was at the Gators. In fact, he's the son of one of the regional scouts for the Reds, Greg Zunino. Greg Zunino covers the entire state of Florida, cross-checks a lot of different prospects, and the Reds were hoping that he would be around last year when his name came up in the draft. He was already gone.
Leake does a nice job of fielding that ball cued off the bat of Zunino, and he gets through the top of the first, but not before damage done by Seattle. Nick Franklin is 5th of the year. The Mariners have jumped in front 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the first. And here's the lineup that Dusty Baker puts out there for tonight's game. Chu, Cozart, and Votto at the top. Phillips, Bruce, Frazier in the middle. Paul, Mesoraco, and Leake make up the bottom three against the right-hander, 35-year-old Aaron Harang, who makes his first start at this ballpark since leaving following the 2010 season.
Well, this is one Seattle Mariner that you certainly should know. I mean, after all, Aaron Harang was here from the years 2003 through 2010. Ended up winning 75 games for this Reds ball club. A real big guy on the mound and also in the community. He is one of the nicest Reds player ever to come by during my 21 years as a broadcaster.
Yeah, 8 years here, 03 through 2010, a member of that 2010 National League Division title team, although he did not pitch for the club in the postseason. In fact, he was not on the postseason roster in that series against Philadelphia. 217 appearances, 213 of which were starts for the Reds in his career. Chu lines that ball to left, but it's handled out there by Ibanez for out number 1. Seattle lines up like this defensively behind Harang. Brought to you by your Ford dealers. Ibanez, Ackley, and Saunders across the outfield. Seager, Miller, Franklin, Morales third to first. Harang is caught tonight by Mike Zunino. The one out for Zach Cozart. Comes in at 243. With 7 home runs, he's driven in 33. Had a couple of hits in the Giants series, 2 out of 10. Aaron Harang last worked on the 29th. So 7 days ago, and a no decision. He pitched very well. 3 runs, 5 hits in 8 innings in that game. Hasn't won since the 11th of June when he defeated the Houston Astros. Toward right, Saunders in, and Saunders takes charge, calling off Nick Franklin right at the last moment, and the right fielder has it for out number 2. Saunders has had a right middle finger issue. He crushed his nail diving back into first base. This is his first start in a week. out in right field for Seattle. 2 out. Batter is Joey Votto. Votto comes in 5th in the league in hitting at .323. 14 long ones. He's driven in 39. 6-game hitting streak. And Harang led the National League in wins in 2006 as a member of the Reds when he won 16 times. 2 years later, he led the major leagues in defeats when he went 6-17 in 2008. Followed that up with a 14-loss year. And as Chris said, overall 75 wins, 80 losses in 8 years as a member of the Reds. Harang, a big guy, 6'7", originally drafted by Texas, traded to Oakland in 2010. The Reds got him from Oakland in that deal for Jose Guillen, the all-star trading at the trading deadline at the end of the month of July 2003.
Yeah, that was a deal that the Reds pulled off when they had interim general managers. Brad Koolman and Leland Maddox were taking over control of the Reds, and they caused a lot of controversy by trading away an all-star in Guillen. But they thought that they saw a lot of promise in Aaron Harang. As it turned out, it was a pretty good deal for the Reds.
He was here for 8 years, and then following that 2010 season was a free agent, signed with the Padres, pitched 1 year in his hometown, signed the deal with the Dodgers following the 2011 season. Moving to his left, Franklin makes that play. Votto gone, and Aaron Harang has a 1-2-3 first against the Reds. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, the Blue Jackets are having a big day today. Hall of Famer Hal McCoy on the Reds' winning streak, and see how Ohio State's Aaron Kraft gives back. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports. Brought to you by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Drive safe, spend less. Nice gathering on this Friday night weekend series against the Seattle Mariners. First time Seattle has been in this ballpark. First time they've been to Cincinnati since the Mariners came to Old Synergy Field back in 2002, the last year of that ballpark. They came in and swept a 3-game series.
You know, if you look back and historically chart the games that the Reds have played against the Mariners, they've got the worst winning percentage against the Mariners than any other ball club in Major League Baseball.
Line drive to right. That stays up. That gets out. Home run by Michael Saunders, his 5th of the year. And the Mariners have jumped out to a 3-0 lead as Mike Leake has touched up for 2 home runs in the first 7 batters of this game. First time he's given up more than a homer in a game since the 8th of May here against Atlanta.
Yeah, Michael Saunders hits a changeup, and you see where it is, belt high, and those usually don't last very long. You're going to get knocked off the wall, or in the case of Saunders, goes out of here with it. Leake's got to figure out a way to get that ball down.
Caught in the air to left by Paul, and Ackley is retired. Young man happy about getting that souvenir. He'll be told later, of course, that that was not a Reds player. Hit that home run ball. So Aaron Harang has himself a 3-0 lead as he steps in here in the top of the second. Never known for swinging a very good bat. He comes in with a .091 career batting average. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts this year. 1 career home run. That was as a member of the Reds. Disposed of, 2 out. In tonight's IGS bringing the energy feature for tonight's game. Major League players highest percentage of 2013 home runs that are solo shots. How about our Sin Chu 100% of his have been solo shots. Jason Bay of the Seattle club not in the lineup tonight. 100% of his home runs have been solo. That's IGS bringing the energy. Votto backpedals and gets it. Low feed, but good adjustment by Mike Leake. Miller gone. Seattle gets 1 more. Reminder, coming up later in this evening's broadcast, we'll have our Miller Time moment of the night, brought to you by Miller Lite. Remember, Reds fans, if a Reds home run hits the Toyota sign during tonight's game, Jerry Bachman from Cincinnati, proud owner now of a 2013 Corolla, will win this beautiful new Tundra that's been on display all year long here at GABP. Register for your chance to win in an upcoming game by simply visiting your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. All right, 3-0 Seattle. Bottom of the second, Brandon Phillips will lead things off. Bruce DeFotto, then Frazier against Aaron Harang, 6'7", 260. Phillips starts the game at 269. 63 runs batted in, has him right now third in the league in RBIs, behind Paul Goldschmidt at 69 and Alan Craig at 66. Phillips a limited amount of ABs against Harang in his career, 0 for 3. Hitless in the game Wednesday. Phillips against the Giants, snapping a 6-game hitting streak.
You know, when you look at Aaron Harang, you think, all right, has he lost anything on his fastball over the years? I do remember a time when Aaron Harang was a 16-game winner, and he did that twice for the Reds back in 2006 and 2007. And from time to time, he'd get into one of those games where he'd throw the ball 94, 95 miles an hour. And those were games that you could tell in the first inning that when he reached 93 or so, that this was going to be a mismatch. He would be able to run up the ladder with a fastball, and he would have great games. But he's not really been like that very often. And he's won as many as 16 with the Reds. He has lost as many as 17 with the Reds. But now he's keeping that ball down a little bit, trying to get ground balls, but he's still pretty much a fly ball pitcher.
He gets the ground ball here off the bat. Brandon Phillips, who rolls out 4-3, so 4 faced, 4 retired. And the batter will be Jay Bruce.
You know, I imagine with all the young players that they have on their Seattle roster, and including many young pitchers as too, that they rely on Aaron Harang a lot more than just to be a guy that takes the ball every 5th day. I mean, he's a good citizen. He knows what it takes to be a solid professional major leaguer. And those are things that you want to impress your young players with. There's characters just like Aaron Harang.
Well, he makes his first appearance in this ballpark since the final day of that 2010 season, October 3rd, 2010. He went 2 innings in that game, allowed 2 runs, 3 hits, and a 3-2 Reds win against Milwaukee. He was very emotional after that game, both on the television camera and in the clubhouse in front of his locker after the contest. He's pitched against the Reds 1 time since then. That was last year on the 4th of July as a member of the Dodgers. And he gets Bruce here on strikes, his first strikeout. He pitched very well in that game last year, allowing the Reds just 1 run, 3 hits in 7 in a 4-1 Dodger win.
The Reds are going to have to be patient with Aaron Harang, and they're going to have to resist doing exactly what Jay Bruce did that last time up, which get a little bit jumpy. They did a good job against Barry Zito, who doesn't throw extremely hard, although Aaron Harang's got a fastball that this year averages a little bit over 90 miles an hour. But he's not the kind of guy that's going to blow you away with a 95-mile-an-hour heater where you have to get that back going early.
Frazier at a ball and a strike. Tied in the game on Wednesday. 1 hit and 4 trips. He had a single. He's hit in 4 in a row. Hitting .243 with 10 home runs.
Well, that was a pitch that Jay Bruce swung at and missed, and Frazier in the on-deck circle said, well, I'm not going to chase that one, and it happened to thread it right in there for perfect spot. Well, that's a key for Todd Frazier, too. You know, when right-handed pitchers get him to start chasing that breaking ball outside, he expands that zone to almost twice the width of a plate sometimes.
We had a big day here Monday, did Todd Frazier against San Francisco. 4 RBIs, including that 3-run homer early in the game. Reds got out early in that contest, that rain-shortened 6-inning win against the Giants.
Well, as you remember, though, that was off a left-hander, and in fact, the left-hander making only his 3rd major league start. And as I recall, he really didn't have much of a breaking ball. He didn't have a changeup that moved away from right-handers, and that's a perfect type of pitcher that for Todd Frazier right now, with everything kind of flowing in towards his bat rather than going away from him.
first base hit for the Reds in this game. A patented Frazier swing on a pitch low and away. He sends it down the right field line. Frazier gets himself a 2-base hit. The Reds get their first hit of this game.
You know, Todd Frazier says, you can't walk me. I'm not taking a walk. I'm going to make sure that if you throw the ball anywhere close, I'm going to hit it. And that ball was way outside, as you see right there. And somehow, probably through the disbelief of Aaron Harang, that ball stays fair down the line, and Frazier's got a typical Todd Frazier double.
I mean, a lot of pitchers around the National League and now some in the American League would say, how in the world, like you said, how did he hit that ball?
I want to see his highlight film at the end of the year. Make a dance step out of it. And then go to the chiropractor.
Right out in front of the plate, and Zunino will throw Paul out, and so the double goes for naught. Reds leave their first base runner and trail 3-0 through 2. Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. These are career games started at Great American Ballpark. Bronson Arroyo 1, and look who's number 2. Aaron Harang, tonight start the 113th of his career. And how about the rest of that rotation there for the Reds? Cueto, Bailey, Leake making number 52 tonight. That's here at Great American Ballpark. Mike Leake back to work in the third. Touched up for 2 in the first. 2-run homer by Nick Franklin, who's leading it off here in the third. And then Michael Saunders, a leadoff homer in the second. Leake has given up 10 home runs this year. He gave up 26 last year. 23 2 years ago, so he's been much better in that department this year. Franklin hobbling around. That ball went right from bat to leg.
Well, he squared around a bunt, or not exactly square, but he kind of pivoted at the last moment. He bunted that ball right into his right knee. And I'm not so sure that's going to do a lot of damage, but it gets you in one of those soft spots where it seems like every nerve ending in your body is right there when you bang it.
Gets you a little dizzy, doesn't it?
I would imagine that after a few minutes he'll probably be able to stay in the ball game unless it got him more on the kneecap than it appeared. Franklin, just 22 years old. He was the #1 draft pick by Seattle out of Lake Brantley High School in Orlando, Florida, actually in Sanford, Florida. He had a good run of it in AAA this year. He batted over 320, had 4 home runs, 7 stolen bases. Home run in the first came off the first pitch he saw. A little bit of a get-ahead fastball right there by Mike Leake, and the Mariners are not taking, obviously, the scout report that they get on the Reds' Mike Leake. Is be aggressive early on. That's when you're going to get your best pitches to hit. So, after seeing the guy bang the ball off his leg, what do you do when you're a pitcher? You throw another one right inside there, hoping he hits the same spot.
He took an offering at it. Now he gets him on the off-speed pitch, and that is the second strikeout for Leake.
Well, let's take a look at this at-bat. Mike Leake versus Nick Franklin. Hit a home run the first time up, but this time he leads him off with a curveball. Then a bunt attempt goes right off his knee, and after a long wait, throws a little pitch on the inner part of the plate, fouls it off, and then pulls the string on him again. Good curveball there by Mike Leake. And the strikeout. Or Mazda, pitch by pitch.
Well, he deals now with Raul Ibanez as Franklin gets some attention in that Seattle dugout. Ibanez bounced one to Votto with the pitcher covering his first time.
Get the freeze spray out.
You mean the ethyl chloride?
Yeah. If you have to call it by its real name.
I prefer that, yeah. Spray that baby up. Or just bring a bag of ice out and let him hold that.
See, there you go. Or a little frozen H2O.
You always speak in elements.
Does it hurt there? Don't you love it when a doctor does that to you? I'm going to say, Doc, my arm hurts. He starts digging in his thumb right in the spot. He goes right there, and then, of course, by then you're on the ground begging for mercy.
Writhing in pain. Yeah. There's a skipper right there, Eric Wedge.
Of course, that's what the trainer say. Yep, I thought it was right there. Spot that's all swollen.
Raul Ibanez in his 18th year in the major leagues.
Now, this guy's a pro's pro. I mean, you see what he's done early in the year. He did not do anything at all. In fact, he had a miserable month of April where he batted 158, only had 2 home runs, but since that time he's come on big time.
Phillips in and to his right will make that play for out number 2. Well, tonight's Ohio Lottery Mega Millions jackpot worth $79 million. The drawing is tonight at 11 p.m. So you have over 3 hours. Make sure you get out there, get your ticket. The Ohio Lottery Mega Millions jackpot tonight, $79 million. 2 out for Morales. Seattle acquired him from the Angels in the offseason. He's been by and large their DH this year. Playing first base tonight. Phillips and Votto, and Phillips calls. Phillips has it, and there's a 1-2-3 third turned in by Mike Leake. Between the Reds and the Mariners. It'll start at 4:10 Eastern Time with the first 20,000 fans in attendance receiving a Jade Bruce t-shirt thanks to Red Cherry Ice. Celebrate your 4th of July weekend with the Reds. Enjoy all the baseball action right here at the ballpark. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or log on to reds.com/July. Final 3 home games before the All-Star break. The Reds head out after the game on Sunday afternoon. Go to Milwaukee for 3, Atlanta for 4, and then the 4-day All-Star break. And then they'll start at home right after the break for the big 3-game series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then it's out west. And the 3-city stop: San Francisco, L.A., San Diego. We haven't seen much of the teams from the NL West Division this year, but they'll get their fill of them on that trip, second half of July. As Araujo leads things off here, and he's quickly ahead 3-0. Mentioned he had 3 hits in the game on Wednesday against San Francisco. His first ever big league 3-hit game. He walks on 4, and the Reds have the leadoff man aboard. Well, today, Louise Richter's 99th birthday. She's a big avid Reds fan, watches all the games at home. She lives here in Cincinnati at the Garden Manor Retirement Home. So happy birthday, Louise, number 99. We'll try to give you an extra present tonight, that being, of course, a Reds win. Leake will try to move that runner along with a bunt. Reds have the most sacrifice bunts in the National League coming into this game at 43. Leake has 2 of them.
A lot of people may be wondering, well, why wouldn't you let Mike Leake hit? After all, he's one of the better hitting pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. Well, mainly to stay out of the double play ball. Because a lot of times a pitcher, even if he's a good hitter, is going to hit a ground ball more often than an everyday hitter will.
Morales will field this, give it on to Franklin. That's a 3-4 sacrifice. Major League leading total for the Reds goes up to 44 sacks on the year, and a runner scoring position.
Boy, he does that about perfectly. Look at the angle on the bat he has right here. That almost assures you that you're not going to pop the ball up. He gets out there, he gets it right out in front of the plate, kind of lets the ball come to him. There's an old coaching saying called get out there and shake hands with the baseball. And that's exactly what Mike Leake did there. Deadened it nicely and got the job done.
So a couple of chances now to get the Reds on the board. The first one falls on the shoulders of Shin-Soo Choo. Hit it hard into left to start the Reds' first inning. Caught out there by Ibanez. Choo has had a pair of 2-hit games in a row. 2 hits on Wednesday, 2 hits the night before that on Tuesday. Reds and the Giants sat around a long time here yesterday before the game was finally postponed. And if you're looking for a makeup date for that, nothing has been set yet. A lot of talk about different scenarios, but as of yet, nothing has been finalized in terms of a makeup date for finale of that series against the Giants. San Francisco, of course, does not make another visit here. The Reds will go to San Francisco as part of that West Coast trip after the All-Star break. So we'll have to wait and see.
You got to wonder really what's going on in the mind of the Seattle Mariners manager right now as he sees Shin-Soo Choo at the plate. I mean, after all, Eric Wedge was with the Cleveland Indians for 4 years while Choo was there. Of course, Eric was there, and starting in 2003, he ended his tenure there in 2007. Of course, during that time, Choo had played 4 years as an Indian, and during that time, probably one of the best players on the ball club each year.
You did some interesting tech talks with him about his changing from hitting like an Asian player to an American player.
Yeah, he was very forthright about that, and it was very interesting because I had never heard it before, and I didn't know what kind of a player he was when he first came over, signed out of Korea. But he realized right away that he could not be one of those hitters that would slap the ball as he was running out of the batter's box.
Like Ichiro.
And so he worked very hard at becoming more of an American-style hitter, which is staying in the box, using your body, using the trunk of your body to drive the ball a little bit more. And he says it was completely opposite of what he learned and how he learned how to hit in Korea as a youngster. And he stays back on the ball just about as well as anybody right now. Laying off that pitch right there, that breaking ball that breaks in the dirt, is the key to beating a pitcher like Aaron Harang. Not an overpowering fastball. He gets ahead of you. He wants to tease you a little bit, and he wants to throw that pitch. It looks like it's going to be a strike, and then dives right in front of the plate.
That'll move the runner up. Miller throws out Chu, and there are 2 out. Chris Spire coaching down at third base as he has all year, filling in for Mark Berry. Mark has been with this team a lot as of late. Talked to him before the game today. There's Mark, third base coach of the Reds, who's recuperating from treatment for throat cancer.
Yeah, he looks better and better every day.
He really does. He looks like he's gaining weight. Yeah,
he was at it early today, and he hit Joey Votto ground balls. Votto was taking some practice. I mean, this is about, what, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And out there hitting him to him was Mark Berry. It's good to see him back doing baseball stuff again, because he loves baseball about as much as anybody you'll ever meet.
Hit hard into center, but unfortunately right at Ackley, who makes the play. Kozar gone. Mesoraco stranded at third. The stars align for the 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game as the best of the AL takes on the best of the NL. Don't miss the action on Tuesday, July the 16th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox. Take a look now at our AT&T trivia question of the night. Which pitcher has the most strikeouts at Great American Ballpark? Which pitcher has the most strikeouts all time here at Great American Ballpark? And we'll get back to that answer here very shortly. Kyle Seager leads it off, a base hit in the first inning. Opening day third baseman for this Seattle club. Very good year last year, plus 300 average, 20 home runs, still only 25 years old. One of the few players that was in the lineup on opening day for this team when they defeated Oakland that is still playing that same position now. Of the 8 opening day players, minus the pitcher and the DH, 5 of them are not in the lineup anymore, either due to injury or ineffectiveness. This is not one of them. In fact, their center fielder tonight, Dustin Ackley, was their opening day second baseman. He was doing so poorly they sent him down, switched him from an infielder to an outfielder. He's now their center fielder due to the injury to their normal center fielder, Franklin Gutierrez. Michael Morris, whom they acquired in the offseason, out with an injury. Justin Smoke, their first baseman, was on the DL earlier in the month of June with an injury. They've been hit hard. Chris talked about their starting pitching earlier. This is a team, of course, that under Eric Wedge has never seen the postseason. In fact, they have not been to the postseason since 2001 under Lou Piniella, when they won, remember that year, 116 games, an unbelievable regular season. Since then, 11 years of futility in terms of postseason play.
Yeah, they've got a long way to go as far as under the tenure of Eric Wedge right now. I mean, they've got a bunch of young players on the team. They've got some guys who are not going to be around forever. Obviously, guys like Raul Ibanez and Aaron Harang. Wedge took over in 2011 and promptly lost 95 games and saw his ball club finish 29 games behind first place. Last year, again, under 500. But only by 12 games, but still in last place.
Ball skips away, and down to second base goes Kyle Seager. Mazaraco upset. That'll be a wild pitch on Leake.
Yeah, just one of those games tonight where Mike Leake is just not making his great pitches. That ball looks like it hits off the very corner of the plate. And when it does that, I mean, it's got a lot of spin on it, so you hit your chest protector and it's going to spin away.
Mike Zunino tapped one off the end of the bat out his first time. Looks for the RBI here. He has a homer and 4 RBIs. Only 22 years old. Chris talked about him earlier. His dad, regional scout for the Reds. Move the runner up on that ground ball to Brandon Phillips.
That's a good at bat right there. That's really called giving yourself up. He's in control of the strike count. He's got 2 balls, no strikes. And he gets a pitch that you would normally think that you want to pull because Mike Leake's going to pitch him inside. Look where Mazaraco's setting up. But Zunino goes the other way with it, even though now, as I see it on the replay, Mike Leake left that ball outside. He wanted to get it in on him, but that's probably the reason why Zunino made it so easily to get that ball to the right side.
There's Michael Saunders with a runner at third and 1 out. The Reds infield in. And he'll get this ball to left. Xavier Paul will make the catch. That's a sacrifice fly. That will bring Seager home, and that's a classic case right there of get him on, get him over, get him in. It makes it 4-0 in favor of the Mariners.
Well, they make it look easy. You get them on, you move them over with a wild pitch. You move them over as you should. Runner at second, nobody out. And a first pitch fly ball to left gets the job done. A couple of runs batted in now for Michael Saunders.
There now is Dustin Ackley. We're talking about him earlier. Opening day second baseman, sent down to the minor leagues. Comes back as an outfielder, not hitting very much as of late. He's 0 for 2 now in this game as he grounds out. 1 run across for the Mariners here in the 4th. Is brought to you by Toyota. See your Toyota dealer or visit viatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the JTM Food Group. Let's create great dishes together. Ceremonial first pitches tonight thrown out by former Red Jim Maloney, pitcher, and his catcher Johnny Edwards. They are in town this weekend as part of the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum's Baseball Brunch Series. There's Maloney, who threw 2 no-hitters for the Reds. Johnny Edwards caught the first no-hitter by Maloney. That was back in 1965, the 10-inning game against the Cubs. Jim threw another no-hitter in '69 against Houston. Little known fact also is that Johnny Edwards also caught Jim Maloney's 10 innings worth of no-hit baseball on the 14th of June 1965, which he lost that no-hitter in the 11th and eventually lost the game 1-0 to the New York Mets.
Yep, I was at that ball game.
Johnny lost the no-hitter.
Yeah, Johnny Lewis.
Was it Johnny Lewis?
It was Johnny Lewis, who you may or may not have ever heard of.
I have, yeah.
He hit a home run right off the right, above the white stripe that went across the left center field fence there at Crosley Field.
Up the middle and a base hit for Joey Votto. Interesting that Johnny Edwards and Jim Maloney are in town, and they're here and being honored this weekend, the same weekend that Homer Bailey throws the no-hitter during the week, and they, the battery of Bailey and Hannigan, were honored before the game as well. So now 3 pitchers in Reds history: Johnny Vandermeer, Jim Maloney, and Homer Bailey have more than 1 no-hitter in their careers. Here's what we're talking about before the game now. There's Dusty Baker with Homer Bailey and Ryan Hannigan presented framed lineup cards from the no-hitter this week against San Francisco. Red CEO Bob Castellini right there to present the lineup cards. Walt Jocketty, the general manager, down there as well. So we had those 2 being honored, Jim Maloney and Johnny Edwards, throwing out ceremonial first pitches. If you're interested in more information about their appearance at the Hall of Fame and Museum, that's coming up tomorrow from 1:30 to 3:30. I think Jim Maloney is then actually going to be part of our Fox pregame show tomorrow. He'll be speaking then and the Riverfront Club on Sunday morning as well. So they'll be busy this weekend. Jim Maloney, Johnny Edwards. You missed it earlier. The Pirates played at Wrigley this afternoon. Francisco Liriano, the winner, in a 6-2 Pirate victory. Reds started today 3.5 back. Remember, they came home from that long road trip when they lost 2 out of 3 in Texas, 5.5 back. Entered today 3.5 back, so they'd cut 2 games off that deficit. Right now it's at 4. The Pirate win earlier today. Back to 3.5 if the Reds can win this game. Phillips bounced out his first time. Trying to move Votto along. A leadoff base hit for the Reds here in the 4th. Their second hit of the night. And the leadoff man on in the 3rd via a walk to Mesoraco. Got around to 3rd but was stranded there. Now Brandon will get a look at a 3-2 pitch. Harang now just over the 50 pitch mark in this game. Opening day starter, 5 consecutive years for the Reds. Aaron Harang. Runner going. Step out, throw out, double play. Just to the left of the shortstop, Brad Miller, who stepped on the bag, threw on to first. And a double play ball hit into by Phillips.
And it doesn't happen very often for Aaron Harang. In fact, that is only the second, I said as in number 2, ground ball double play that Aaron Harang has served up this year in 14 starts. But you can see where he's pitching there. Brandon Phillips, he's trying to go down and away. Phillips rolls over on it, and it couldn't have worked out any better for the Mariners.
So just like that, 2 men out, nobody on for Jay Bruce. Off the glove of Morales, he'll recover, feed Harang in time. That's a 3-1 put out. 3 batters and out thanks to the double play for Harang. Minutes before every game. That's with Reds Live here on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Remember, tomorrow's game is at 4:10. That means Reds Live comes your way at 3:30 here on Fox Sports Ohio. Jim Day, Jeff Pecoro. Special guest Jim Maloney, who out the ceremonial first pitch prior to tonight's game with his former battery mate Johnny Edwards. Jim Maloney will join them in the Reds Fox condominium, third base side on the concourse. Chu will run this one down and spear it out of the air. Harang making a bid for a first pitch hit here in the 5th inning. 1 out. Go back to that AT&T trivia question we showed you earlier. Which pitcher has the most strikeouts career-wise right here at Great American Ballpark? Aaron Harang, just shy of 600. That's 596. Including the one he has tonight. 596. Bronson Arroyo is 2. Cueto and Bailey. Harang, in fact, is 6th all-time in Reds history in strikeouts with 1,126, including the one he has tonight. $1,125. Down the right field line. Extra bases. This is Brad Miller. Is he going to turn it again? He is. He's going to go for 3. He's going to be in there. This team had 5 triples coming into tonight's game. 5 triples in 85 games. Miller has 2 in tonight's game.
Boy, go figure how that happens. I mean, after all, this is the ballpark that you wouldn't think would give up a whole bunch of triples, but it does right there for the second time in 3 at-bats. First triple went into the right center field gap. That one goes right down the line.
A chance to add on to a 4-0 lead for Seattle with a 1-out triple by Miller, and now it's Nick Franklin. A 2-run homer back in the first inning, his 5th of the year. Foul ball. Emphatically, says Alan Porter down there once he got out of the way of that bouncing ball off the bat of Franklin.
Well, when they're close, you should be more emphatic. Actually, remember, it's not where it hits on the dirt, it's where it actually crosses the first base bag.
Two triple game tonight for Brad Miller. He becomes the first player in the history of Great American Ballpark, either a visiting player or a Reds player, to have 2 triples in 1 game at this ballpark. So the other night against the Giants, we saw the first ever no-hitter in this ballpark. Now the first player ever to have 2 triples in a game here at GABP. On an infield, and Phillips makes that play to keep Miller at third with 2 out for the veteran Raul Ibanez. Ibanez is twice grounded out tonight, so he's 0 for 2. Mentioned 41 years old now, just turned 41 just over a month ago. 1 time in his career an All-Star. That was his first year in Philly back in 2009. He was not, unfortunately for him, a member of that 2008 Phillies championship team when they defeated Tampa Bay. He was with Seattle that year. Came over and was with them in 09 when they lost the World Series to the Yankees. This is a fellow that was drafted by Seattle years ago and now is in his third different turn with the Mariners. Bruce makes the catch of that hard hit ball. Inning comes to an end. Still 4-0 ends. All right, we're holding an open casting call now for the next Fox Sports Ohio girl during the month of July. If you're born and raised in Ohio and want to be our connection to Ohio sports fans like Sarah and Christine, go to girls.foxsportsohio.com to submit an application. The casting call for the next Fox Sports Ohio girl ends on July the 24th. Next Fox Sports Ohio girl. 4-0 Mariners. Reds bat in the 5th inning. They have not been able to do anything against their former teammate Aaron Harang. We mentioned earlier he pitched so well against them as a member of the Dodgers 1 year and 1 day ago out at Dodger Stadium. Picking up here where he left off then in this first of a 3-game series against his new team, Seattle. And he went to spring training with the Dodgers this year. Remember, they had what, 7 or 8 starting pitchers. He was one of them that they eventually unloaded. He was traded to Colorado on the 6th of April for Ramon Hernandez, another former Red, and then 5 days later sent to Seattle. He's been in their rotation since then. In the month of April he was with the Dodgers, the Rockies, and now the Mariners. He was an opening day starter for the Reds from 06 through 2010, 5 consecutive years, tying a Reds franchise record. Pete Donahue did it back in the 20s, 5 straight opening day starts. Mario Soto did it in the early 80s, 5 straight opening day starts. Soto holds the record for most opening day starts with 6. Donahue and Soto and Harang the most consecutive at 5. That one at 89 miles an hour gets right by Frazier in a strikeout.
Yeah, he threw back-to-back fastballs right there. Frazier had him exactly where he wanted him. 3-1 fastball count. He got it and he fouled it straight back, and then Harang sneaks one by him here for strike 3. Pretty much right down Main Street. Go figure.
Here's Xavier Paul. His first time tapped one right out in front of the plate. The catcher jumped all over it, threw him out to end the second. That's here in the home 5th. Reds come in with 29 home wins, second most in the big leagues. Boston with 31 is the most. Then you've got the Braves, the Pirates, and the Reds, all with 29 home wins so far this year. Seattle, on the other hand, they come in at 16-26 away from home. That recipe tonight so far has not worked out. Seattle in front 4-0. 2-run homer in the first by Nick Franklin. Solo shot in the second by Michael Saunders. And then a run on a walk, a wild pitch, a ground out, and a sac fly in the fourth. Dusty asked tonight about Chris Heisey, and did he not maybe get a start tonight because of the wetness of the ground and the hamstring injury which he is coming off. He said no, more because Paul is a left-handed batter and Harang a right-handed pitcher, but he said it lines up pretty well for Sunday for Chris Heisey to get the start out in left field. The Reds on Sunday will see a left-hander, Joe Saunders, against Bronson Arroyo. Tomorrow afternoon in the 4:10 game, Matt Latos against Jeremy Bonderman. Boy, he's gone through it injury-wise the last couple of years, been out of baseball, back this year with Seattle. 4:10 tomorrow, 1:10 on Sunday. Ran into Sean Marshall down in the tunnel between the clubhouse and the dugout this afternoon, and he was talking about his recuperation, the fact that he had thrown a side session today of 39 pitches, mostly fastballs, and he said he felt great. He'll throw another one on Sunday. He's really feeling good about how things are going. Back out of Paul is number 3 for Harang tonight.
Yeah, back-to-back now for Aaron Harang here in the 5th inning. Got Frazier on a fastball, pulls the string on Xavier Paul right there. That's just a changeup that he throws on the inner part of the plate. Not often do you see a right-handed pitcher do that. It could have been a little bit of a slider that really didn't dive a whole lot, and I think the speed fooled Xavier Paul more than anything.
The 2 out for Mesoraco. In the hole and by the diving Miller and out in the left. So Mesoraco gets himself a 2-out hit. Reds get only their 3rd hit. Give Mike Leake a chance to bat with a runner on and 2 out.
Mesoraco 2 times up, 2 times on. He goes down and get a pretty good pitcher's pitch right there on the first pitch.
Most people that you talk to have noticed a definitive difference in the way he swung the bat a year ago and the way he's swinging this year.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I think that he struggled behind the plate last year, and he let it affect his batting, and then his batting struggled, and he let it affect his catching, and I think he worked hard over the winter, and you could tell a difference in Devin Mesoraco when he showed up for spring training.
Well, we will not see Mike Leake bat here with a runner on and 2 out in the 5th inning. Jack Hanahan will bat for Leake, so Leake will go exit out of this game after 5 innings.
I wonder if there might be something wrong with Mike Leake. Either that or the Reds are just so desperate for offense that they're going to go to a pinch hitter with 2 out and a first guy at first base.
He throws 70 pitches in this game. And that is the lowest pitch count that he had in 2013. 70.
You know, the Reds have been able to put some wins on the board, for instance, against the San Francisco Giants. But don't forget that over the last 10 ball games, they've only averaged just a little bit over 3 runs per game. So this offense is not exactly clicking, and maybe Dusty Baker just trying to get something going.
Leake leaves after 5 innings, 4 runs, 5 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Most runs he's given up earned wise since the 8th of May against Atlanta. We gave up 4 runs, all earned. Hanahan slices one out into left field, and That's a pinch hit single for Jack Hanahan, who had been only 1 for his last 18. Good to see Jack come off the bench and get himself a knock right there.
Keep the inning alive is what you're trying to do right here. And that's a good pitch by Aaron Harang that Hanahan just reaches down to get.
And that'll be Chu with 2 on and 2 men out. Right-hander Curtis Parch has been throwing in the Reds bullpen, so he figures to be the man on the mound come the top of the 6th inning. Down the line by Chu into the corner. That's a fair ball. The Reds will get on the board. Hanahan will stop at third as Mesoraco scores. A double for Chu gives him his 28th RBI, and it's a 4-1 game.
The first time in this ball game that the Reds have been able to do really anything against Aaron Harang back to back, but here they do it back to back to back. So slicing that ball down the left field line, he picks up a double. Boy, he hit the ball hard. Chu did the first time in the very first inning. On the second pitch he saw, but it was right at the left fielder. So now former Red pitcher, reliever Carl Willis, who is now the pitching coach. He and the manager Eric Wedge are pretty much separate, attached at the hip. Anywhere Wedge goes, Willis goes, and now he's the pitching coach here in Seattle. Third time's a charm against Aaron Harang.
Chu's 20th doubles produced the Reds' first run. Now the tying run, the person of Zach Cozart at the plate. He's flied to right, hit it hard, but right at the center fielder Ackley as last time. So he's 0 for 2. Boy, that's a nice sliding block there. Saves a run by Zunino.
Boy, got his body out in front of that, didn't he?
Did a good job. Textbook stuff right there.
You've been watching Tech Talk.
I have.
So is he. I do remember talking to some of the Red Scouts about Mike Zunino, the Mariner catcher, when he was plucked from the University of Florida last year in the first round. A lot of people thought he was the one position player the closest to being a major leaguer, and here he is the year after in the big leagues.
Seager throws to first in time. Cozart retired, and the Reds must settle for 1. But they're on the board, down 4-1 through 5. The Kentucky Honda dealers. Here's our Honda game summary. Seattle jumped out early. Brad Miller led off the game with a triple that skipped by Bruce in the alley in right center. And then Nick Franklin followed up with his 5th home run of the year into the seats out in right. And the M's had a 2-0 lead. They added to that in the second. Michael Saunders, first game back in a week as a starter, hammers this ball into the moon deck out in right. Number 5 for him, made it 3-0. Mariners added another run in the 4th. They led 4-0. Reds got on the board in inning number 5. This ball sliced into the left field corner by Chu. Plated Mesoraco for Chu, his 20th double, his 28th RBI. That's where we are now. Our Honda game summary through 5. Mariners in front 4-1. New pitcher on now for the Reds is the right-hander Curtis Parch.
Yeah, Parch makes his 7th appearance overall, and you know, normally when you're have the bullpen like Curtis Parch, you're thinking, well, I'm going to get in when the game was a blowout, or I'll get in about the 13th or 14th inning. This is a pretty tight ball game right here. That's what the Reds think of the stuff that Curtis Parch brings to the mound. 95, 96 with a good slider.
Parch was at both AA and AAA earlier this year, appearing in 24 games with a .330 earned run average, and he made his big league debut with the Reds against the Cardinals. Remember, he gave up that grand slam on Sunday Night Baseball to Matt Holliday. Line to third, and out is Kendrys Morales, out number 1. Well, he really shined, though, in that 13-inning game at Chicago on June the 13th, a little less than a month ago, when he went 4 innings, allowed no runs, 1 hit in that game. Been a while since he's worked. He appeared out in Oakland on the 25th. 2 innings of no-run, no-hit baseball in that game. That's the last time he's been out there. So it's been almost, a good week and a half.
Yeah, and the key to that is whether he can throw strikes or not. Last time he was out, he walked a couple batters. Time before that, walked a couple in an inning. Time before that, walked 3 in 2 innings. And it's a tough thing to do for a reliever that doesn't get a lot of work. It's to stay sharp enough to throw the ball over the plate.
He has a total of 8 walks in 10 1/3 coming into this game as a big leaguer. Gotten the leadoff man Morales, now works on Kyle Seager, who's been on twice, a hit and a walk. Cardinal game underway at home against Miami. They're 1-1 in the top of the second. Both the Reds and the Cardinals looking to gain a win here tonight. Keep pace with the Pirates, who won earlier today 6-2 at Chicago. Pirates, you may recall, went into the All-Star break with a 1-game lead over the Reds last year.
Got him on the foot.
Hunter Wendelstedt points to first base. Seager hit by the pitch. Second batter hit by Parch with the big league club.
It's a breaking ball that just kept breaking.
The Mariners have had a base runner in every inning with exception of the 3rd when they went down in order. Now here is Zunino. That one clipped him on the jersey. Looked like on the left arm area.
Gee, Zunino, I mean, that ball came in at 96. Got him right above the elbow, and Zunino reacts like he was bitten by a mosquito. Oh, got my arm, okay. Take my gear off and head on down to first base. Jeez.
Parch creates a little problem here. Dusty Baker and Brian Price. Brian, of course, the former pitching coach on the other side of things with the Seattle club back from 2001 to 2006. He was the pitching coach of the M's. Then he went on to Arizona. Now here are the Reds.
Michael Saunders was 16 years old when he was playing for the 18 and under Canadian national team. And he was spotted by a junior college coach down from Tallahassee Community College named Mike McLeod. And at that time, at 16 years old, Saunders was 6'4", 200 pounds. And his JC coach kept looking at him saying, man, this kid is 2 years away from JC and he's not committed yet. So we waited till the proper time, talked to the Canadian coaches, and ended up talking Michael Saunders, who's from British Columbia, to go all the way down to Tallahassee, Florida to do junior college time. And that's where the pros picked him, and the Mariners got him in the 04 draft in the 11th round.
Up the middle, Cozart, step and throw, double play, nicely done to bail out Curtis Parch, who had hit 2 batters. That double play ends the top of the 6th inning for the Mariners. Make your reservation today for the Front Gate Outdoor Luxury Suite here at Great American Ballpark. This outdoor suite features an all-inclusive food and beverage package, flat panel TVs, luxury furnishings courtesy of Front Gate to host your group of 30 to 48. One of the most unique hospitality areas here at the ballpark. You can do the reserving by calling the Reds Group Sales Department at 513-765-7600. Votto leads things off in the bottom of inning number 6. Reds get on the board with a run in the 5th and left runners at 2nd and 3rd. They've stranded 4 in this game. Aaron Harang has walked 1, struck out 3. Votto bats first. He's at a ball and a strike. Phillips and Bruce to follow. Outfield, they play him straight away. Some teams play an infield shift on Joey. Seattle is not one of those. High and deep into center. Ackley retreating. Runs out of room. That one way up there on the batter's hitter's backdrop in straightaway center. Booming blast by Votto. 15th of the year for Joey. 4-2.
let's take a look at that swing by Joey Votto from right behind him. Our Performance Honda Exmo replay. Well, he went down to get that bad boy, and that was no cheapie right there when it came off the bat. I thought it might end up on that grassy berm, but no, right in the window where our cameramen are working. Heads up, guys. And now we've got a 2-run ball game.
Amy and Kevin have the ball out there in center field. Good work. Good work, guys. Nobody got hurt, and they got the ball. Well, from a 4-0 deficit to a 4-2 deficit.
Just a little curveball that he recognized early on, got his foot down and dropped the head.
443 feet on that blast to center field, up over to the lower portion of the hitter's backdrop, and as we said, up onto the camera well area there. So Harang touched up for the 13th time for a long ball this year. Reds have scored in back-to-back innings. I can start it all over with Phillips here. Missed the ball. Bat goes pinwheeling into the crowd. Brandon a strikeout victim. Number 4 for Harang. Let's hope no one got hurt on that. The young lady there appeared to get hit with that bat.
Let me show you the Exmo on the home run. Let's show you the Exmo brought to you by Munchin's Furniture on the Brandon Phillips bat toss.
Here's Bruce. We'd like to see him get hot with the home run balls again. He went through that stretch, remember, where he hit 8 home runs in 9 games. Now he's gone the last 9 without a home run and only a couple of RBIs. Tonight he has struck out and grounded out. See the grass stain on his right leg of his pants. So that's where he went sliding for that triple off the bat of Brad Miller to start the game. Try as he might, he couldn't quite cut that ball off.
You know, Jay Bruce is regarded as one of the better defensive right fielders in the entire game of baseball. But defense for right fielders isn't the first thing you talk about. You talk about home runs and run production.
Morales takes it himself. So after the Votto home run, a strikeout and a ground out. 2 out for Frazier.
And we talked about it early on when we talked about Jay Bruce and his possibility of making his 3rd consecutive All-Star game right now. He's 4th in all outfielders in home runs. He's right up there with a lot of guys. Of course, a lot of that comes in bunches for Jay Bruce. And you're right. You'd like to see this young man get hot again.
Bob Brenly, of course, will rather I said Bob Brenly. Bruce Bochy will manage that National League team from the Giants. Let's hope he is in favor of having a bat like Jay Bruce come off the bench for the National League club. An All-Star game just 11 days from now, the 16th of July. In New York at Citi Field. Exclusively, you can see it on Fox. Reds down 4-2, bottom of the 6th. Independence Day weekend. Fireworks show after the game here tonight, 7th annual. Fireworks Friday night this year. Not annual, I guess. Actually, the 7th time this year we've had a fireworks Friday night.
You know, when you see Todd Frazier chase a pitch like that, you're wondering if you can throw a pitch far enough outside that the catcher can catch, that Frazier can at least foul off.
Hard to third, handled by Seager. Frazier's gone and the inning is over. But the Reds inch closer on the 15th of the year by Joey Votto. Trail 4-2 after 6. With the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Features include all 24 Home Run Derby competitors from 2010, 11, and 12. The new mobile game brings high-impact thrills as you compete for the highest scores and a derby mode that creates the authentic Home Run Derby tournament. It's available on iPhone and iPad. You can download it for free today. And as a reminder, stay with us after the game. Reds Live post-game. Brought to you by King's Honda in the King's Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. 7th inning baseball from Great American Ballpark. 6 inning totals. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Seattle, 3 left. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Reds, 4 left. Mike Leake, Red starter, gunning for his 8th win of the year. Out of the game after 5, allowed 4 runs, 5 hits. Curtis Parch worked the 6th. Back out there in the 7th. Former Red Aaron Harang has gone 6 for Seattle. Looking for his 4th win of the year if he can get it. He hasn't won a game since the 11th of June against Houston. Has not won a road game this year. He's 0-4 away from Safeco Field with an ERA of closing in on 7. So this has been a pleasant surprise.
Well, you got to figure that Aaron Harang of all nights would get himself especially fired up tonight. Sometimes you can get too much adrenaline going, but he's been able to keep his focus. Talking about getting fired up, I mean, Curtis Parch ought to feel the same way. I mean, in a lot different maybe magnitude than Aaron Harang, but I mean, here he is being used in a game that is a tight ball game. He's got a rested bullpen down there after essentially a day off yesterday, but Dusty Baker chooses to use him. I kind of like that confidence that you're going to show in a young kid to see what he can do. That's the only way you find out.
There's no doubt this guy throws hard, right?
Well, I mean, at some point, if all you get used in ball games where they're blowouts, pretty soon you think that's all you're good enough to do until you prove otherwise. You know, when you have an offense that is struggling the way the Reds are struggling, you have to manage your pitching so carefully, because you know that if the other team scores 3 or 4 more runs, you just may be out of the ball game.
March closing in a month since he was called up when Logan Andrusik was sent down on the 8th of June. Andrusik has since returned.
I mean, Parch is a big guy. I mean, we've seen Aaron Harang out there. He's built more like an NFL tight end at 6'6", 270. Actually, that's more like a lineman. And Parch is 6'5", about 235. That's been his bugaboo right there, the base on balls.
His 9th walk in 11 1/3 innings with the Reds this year. Hit 2 batters in the 6th, but got bailed out on the double play ball hit into by Saunders. Now he walks the leadoff man here in the 7th, and the Reds will get action in their bullpen. And Seattle going to have Endy Chavez come off their bench and bat for Harang. Yorvis Medina, a right-hander, is throwing in their bullpen. For the end of the line for Harang here in Cincinnati in this game means 6 innings, and he goes out with an opportunity to get a win.
Well, Aaron Harang has got a lot of congratulations for a pretty good job that he did tonight, but those guys that are patting him on the back have no idea the depths of the emotions that he had to go through tonight coming back on the mound and pitching against his old ball club. All right, here's today's whip brought to you by Head & Shoulders, now with a hint of Old Spice. Aaron Harang looking for whips. He got 4 of them on the evening. Got him on the fastball right there from Todd Frazier. Got another little changeup on Xavier Paul, and a whirly bird of a bat strikeout from Brandon Phillips.
Those 4 strikeouts put him now at 599 career strikeouts here at Great American Ballpark. As we mentioned earlier, the all-time leader in that department. 91 pitches is what he throws here tonight. You make a good point, Chris, about the emotions that he has to go through. This is a guy who was the #1 starter here in Cincinnati for many a year.
I mean, he's made so many friends here. He stayed here in the wintertime, you know, quite a bit, and that's a double play ball.
6-3, twin killing hit into by the pinch hitter, the veteran Endy Chavez. Had one just like that to win the 6th. Get one here in the 7th. Arch living large here in his appearance.
I'm a little surprised actually that they weren't going to play just maybe for a run right here and move that runner over.
2 out for Brad Miller. Miller, another one of those guys we're seeing anymore, batting without the benefit of batting gloves.
He's also a young man drafted, brought up through the Seattle Mariner farm system. 2011 draft.
He'll pop this ball up. Parch is going to have himself 2 shutout innings of relief as Cozart makes the play. It wasn't always pretty for Parch, but he gets the job done. 4-2 Mariners, bottom of the 7th inning here at Great American Ballpark. Darkness setting on the riverfront area here. Reds need to come from behind victory in this game. Trailed 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 4-1, now 4-2, and a new pitcher is on. Yorvis Medina comes on in relief with the starter Aaron Harang, who goes 6, allows 2 runs, 6 hits, a walk, 4 strikeouts, and Medina takes over. Yorvis Medina appearing for the 13th time, 3-2 record, 270 earned run average. Their bullpen has not been a strong suit for Seattle this year. They came into this game with the 2nd worst ERA in the American League at 4.30. You turn it over to Medina here in the 7th. Reds have been a late inning scoring team this year. 3rd most runs in the National League. 7th inning or later this year. Right by Morales, who went down to get that ball in the short hop. Couldn't get it done. Look at the hustle by Paul. He will get in there to second with a slide. And a good start for the Reds here in the bottom of the 7th.
You know, when you're playing first base, you really don't have to charge the ball all that much because there's no throw that you have to make over across the infield. But Morales chose to kind of come in and try to get that ball on a short hop, and the ball just goes underneath his glove. Our Munchin's Furniture Expo shows that Morales had that ball actually flick off of his glove, an error all the way, but the Reds get a runner on, and now the tying run at the plate.
M's have been a pretty good defensive team this year. Morales, we mentioned earlier, has mostly been their DH. He is charged with a 2-base error on that ball. The tying run now at the plate in Mesoraco here in the bottom of the 7th. Chris Heisey is on deck to bat for Parch. Reds have further action in their bullpen. Here's Manny Parra. Mesoraco has been on twice, a walk and a hit. He scored a run back in the 5th on the double by Chu. See his season average now up to 250. Mesoraco a year ago hit 212 with 14 runs batted in. He has 19 this year, much higher batting average. Mesoraco and the crowd disagreed with the call there of Hunter Wendelstedt. Dusty Baker doesn't appear.
Well, I'm sure he's hearing some barking from the Reds bench, because the one thing that you can see from the bench is high and low. That ball is down around the shoe tops. Instead of 3-1, it's 2-2. Strikeout of Mesoraco is the first out here in the 7th. He made chase ball 4 right there. That ball had a lot of action on it. Starting on the inner third of the plate, by the time it got to the catcher's mitt, watch how much this ball moves. Heisey is announced as the pinch hitter for Parch. Manny Parra has been throwing in the Reds bullpen. Here's Heisey. Represents the tying run. Chris on the year
hitting 186, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, 2 for 4 this year as a pinch hitter. Played in 5 games since his return from the disabled list. He's 3 for 11 with a home run during that time period. He was on the DL from late April through the middle of late August, late June with a right hamstring injury. Almost, not quite, but almost 2 months. Chu waits on deck. Seattle, meanwhile, has action in their bullpen. Charlie Furbush, left-hander, one of 2 lefties they have out there, along with the veteran Oliver Perez, is warming up. In case you're wondering, Heisey has 6 career pinch hit homers. This would be a nice way to start the weekend if the Reds can come from behind, get a win on this Friday night. Keep pace with the first place Pirates, who won earlier today. Bouncer to Seager. 2 out. Sunday, see your Reds take on these Mariners in the wrap-up of this series at half price with a Reach Magazine family deal, plus the first 8,000 youngsters 14 and under receive a kids Reds cap thanks to Delta Airlines. Don't miss all the Reds action this weekend here at GABP. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or log on to reds.com/July. Heisey's ground ball, the third, leaves Paul at second base. Eric Wedge out to the mound. Medina will leave the game. Charlie Furbush, the left-hander, will enter this contest as a third pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. Our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Reds threatening a runner at second with 2 out, and the new pitcher on for the M's is Charlie Furbush to face the lefty Chu. Furbush, his 38th appearance, one of 2 lefties that Eric Wedge has at his disposal in the bullpen. You see his ERA mid-3s. Chu has struggled this year against left-handers. Furbush this year against lefties, they're hitting 155 against him. Chu this year hitting 163 against lefties. He represents the tying run. Of course, it didn't bother him on Wednesday night in that 11-inning game. Javier Lopez, the left-hander, on the mound. Winning run, Frazier out at second. Chu lined the ball into right for a hit, driving home the winner. Furbush, 27 years old, out of South Portland, Maine. Went to school at LSU.
Yeah, he really started it with the Detroit Tigers. Got drafted by the Tigers. Went to the big leagues with the Tigers. Eventually traded over here to the Mariners. He's a guy that attended, you know, when you're in Maine, you don't get all that much opportunity to go right into an SEC school like Louisiana State. So he went to a little small Division III school, St. Joseph's, up in Standish, Maine. Played there for 2 years, and then obviously got good enough, and that's when he made the transfer to LSU.
Danny Farquhar, right-hander, is in the Seattle bullpen. There he is. The closer is the right-hander, Tom Wilhelmsen. Chu watches that one all the way across the plate, takes it low, and now a full count with a runner at second, 2 out.
Yeah, Furbush is trying to get him to chase that little breaking ball. He's not been able to make Chu do that. Every pitch that Furbush has thrown for a strike in this at bat has been a fastball. Got to be looking for that number 1 right here.
That's what he gets, right at the knees. Chu took it. Furbush gets the strikeout he so desired, and the 7th inning comes to an end. By Cincinnati Children's Hospital, now ranked the #1 pediatric cancer center in the country according to U.S. News and World Report's 2013 Best Children's Hospitals, and by Chevy. Stop into your Tri-State Chevy dealer today and check out their full line of fuel-efficient vehicles. Reds had a big chance in the 7th inning. Let it slip away.
You know, we've been running out pitchers that look like tight ends all night long. We might as well show you a real tight end. There's Tyler Eifert, the first-round draft pick of the Bengals, obviously in camp now. Aaron Harang is about the only guy out here that make him look small. Although Eifert goes 6'6", 251. Of course, he went to Notre Dame, son of a former Purdue basketball player, and enjoying the night here at the ballpark.
Good to have Tyler here tonight.
New pitcher Manny Parra.
Parra really been good as of late.
Yeah, little by little trying to get that ERA down.
He's retired 14 of the last 15 batters he has faced. He's made 11 consecutive scoreless appearances. He was asked to pick up the slack left by the DLing of Sean Marshall, and really he has done just that.
Well, I think the frequency of his use has really helped him get into a bit of a good groove with that breaking ball of his. He's got to have that working, and you know, when he starts throwing balls with that pitch and you have to come in with fastballs, that's when they tattooed him around. He's had a couple of real bad outings, and that's why that earned run average is still where it is in the mid-4s.
His ERA in the month of June, 13 games, was 3.38. Gets the switch hitting Franklin, who's batting right-handed, then the lefty Ibanez next, and then another switch hitter Morales, and once somebody gets on, the lefty Seager. And to keep this a 2-run game in the 8th inning. Parra gets the K. Batter will be Ibanez. Well, just 5 players remain in the hunt for the title of WPT LA Poker Classic champion, and the more than $1 million in first place prize money that comes with it. Tune into the World Poker Tour presented by ClubWPT.com to see who becomes the poker world's newest star. That's tonight at 11 right here on Fox Sports Ohio. You know, Jesse Jackson will be tuned in for that. There's Parra against Ibanez. Lifetime 1 for 3 against this left-hander with a couple of strikeouts. Ibanez is the only man in the lineup for Seattle tonight that has ever faced Parra before. Is bringing a 10-game hitting streak into this game. He's 0 for 3. 2 ground outs and a line out to right. By the diving Votto, and that's a hit for Ibanez. An 11-game hitting streak now for the 41-year-old.
Yeah, that was an off-speed pitch, but he can still spin on it with anybody. The guy that got off to a horrible start in the month of April, but he's come on very strong here. He just gets one of those breaking balls that Parra got a strikeout on his last batter, and Ibanez rips it right by Joey Votto.
Ibanez set a major league record this year by hitting 20 home runs prior to the All-Star break. At his age, he becomes the first 40-year-old or older, he's 41, to ever hit 20 home runs before the All-Star break.
Well, he's a pro's pro. I mean, if you've ever spoken with him or spoken to coaches that have coached him in the major leagues, they've got nothing but a lot of praise for Raul Ibanez.
And you saw that list. He's one off the all-time leader at 22. And that's in the whole year. Back in 1988 at 41. He has 21, and we're not yet to the All-Star break. Another week to go.
I got to say, though, that's breaking it down.
That's our graphics pro in there, Lauren White, breaking it down for you, Chris Welsh.
Can't get enough.
Or Alan Layton. Ouch. Sawed him off there. They get one. They get another. Third double play turned by the Reds tonight. That one off the bat of Morales. Reds upcoming bottom of the 8th. Down by a pair. Drive of the game. It occurred in the 6th inning. In fact, it led off the bottom of the 6th inning. Joey Votto against Aaron Harang. Straightaway center, 443 feet away. Second level right there. 15th of the year. Made it 4-2 at the time in favor of Seattle. That's what the score still is now. That's our Nissan drive of the game. Now the Reds need some action here, as Dusty Baker likes to say. Hits are even. Reds down by a pair. Never led in this game. Lefty Charlie Furbush stays in there. He gets Cozart, then the lefty Votto, then Phillips, then the lefty Bruce. Down by a pair, bottom of the 8th. Those are tonight 0 for 3. Gets ahead 2-0, and quickly Mike Zunino, young catcher, go out and talk with Furbush.
You know, it's one thing that you always worry about when you get a real young catcher on your ball club. Will he take control of the game when it's a tight game? And they really love the leadership qualities of that young man.
Double barrel action now in the Seattle pen. The other lefty, Oliver Perez, is up along with Danny Farquhar. There they are. Oliver Perez has transformed himself pretty well, hasn't he?
He sure has.
Long-time starter, hard thrower around the National League. Turned into a pretty good bullpen guy for Eric Wedge's club. Now from 2-0 to 2-2 to Cozart. Reds are 1-8 all time against Seattle. The only game they won was out in Seattle back in 2007. The winning pitcher of that game in a 16-1 Reds win was Aaron Harang, pitching for the Reds against Seattle back in 07. How about that?
It's a good stat there.
Those are fans. Now it's Votto. Like to have a runner on with Joey coming up there, but he'll bat with the bases empty and 1 out. He's 2 for 3 tonight. 7-game hitting streak now for Joey. Been on base in 20 straight games. Reds down a pair, 4-2, home 8. Reds have but one interleague series remaining after this weekend here against the Seattle club. They'll play down in Houston 16th, 17th, 18th of September. Late in the year. Houston, of course, the former National League club, now in the AL West. Did Votto move out of the way of that? He did.
Boy, he's better than I thought. How do you ever get out of the way of this one?
It almost appeared to get his jersey.
Bet he could dodge a bullet.
Right to the right of the 9.
You know what?
Right
I think
there.
he got it. I think he got it, and he knows it, and he'd rather hit.
If he gets a hit, gets on base, that's fine. First time he's ever faced Furbush. Well, you got to believe had that gone down as it appeared it should have, which would have been a hit batsman.
Well, you know, maybe he didn't feel it. Maybe he was so active in trying to get out of the way of that ball that that ball flicked off his jersey and just felt like a close one.
Corralled by Morales, and Furbush covers, and Votto is out number 2. Thought that was going to go right on by Morales and into right.
Well, and Morales, the first thing he did was move, went down on his knees, and then somehow the ball found him. Watch him in the right part of your screen.
He kind of got stuck there in the dirt a little bit. 2 out. Now it's Brandon Phillips. Now had Votto gotten on, Phillips would not be facing Furbush, but we would probably be seeing Farquhar, a right-hander, but instead with 2 out, nobody on, Furbush will try to give Eric Wedge an inning and a third worth of relief. Who knows? Those two could be talking about it right there. Dusty Baker, Joey Votto. Dusty saying, "Did you get hit by that pitch?" Phillips, like Votto, has never faced Furbush before. Brandon 0 for 3 tonight. Crowd here tonight of 33,596. 33,596 on this Friday night. Nothing better than seeing a Reds come from behind win. Nothing shaking here in the 8th. Furbush came on, struck out Chu with a runner at second, 2 out. Struck out Cozart after falling behind 2-0. Got Votto on a ground out. Now has Phillips 1 and 2. Bruce on deck. Phillips gets on. Jay would represent the tying run. Miller, the shortstop, will charge. Morales stretches and makes the play. Phillips gone. Reds in order for only the second time tonight. Miller Lite way back in the first inning. Triple by Miller, and then this 2-run homer by Nick Franklin. Onto the moon deck in right field, about 6 rows up. 5th home run of the year for Nick Franklin. Got the M's on the board early. They took a 2-0 lead. They have not been headed. They lead 4-2 going into the 9th inning. That is tonight's Miller Time moment of the night. Well, maybe we'll have another one later on. It'll come from a Reds bat. Meanwhile, Manny Parra in his 2nd inning of work will go back out here in the 9th to face a lefty Seager. Then a right-hander Zunino, and then 2 other left-handers. Parra has not gone 2 innings since the first 2 appearances he made this year, April 5 and 9, here against the Nationals, and then in St. Louis. Although he has gone more than 1 inning any number of times, including 3 appearances ago down in Texas on the 29th of June. He's trying to keep it a 4-2 game going into the bottom of the 9th. Seager tonight been on 3 times. A single, a walk, and hit by a pitch. Frazier tracking. Into the seats it goes.
You know, one of the things that you're always thinking about when you only have 1 left-hander in the bullpen. Now, you've got to eliminate a role to Chapman because he's a closer. But if you use Parra for 2 innings like they're doing tonight, you probably make him unavailable for tomorrow. And he might be able to come back after one night and be able to pitch the 3rd game on Sunday. Well, you only got 1 lefty bullet down there. It's tough to know when to use him, but he's throwing the ball very well, so that's probably why he's back out there. And the Mariner ball club's got a bunch of lefties.
Falls behind here, 3-1.
Well, that last pitch, like I got, was been a strike all night.
They got a right-hander next, and then 2 more lefties. Full count. First time ever that the Mariners have visited Great American Ballpark. Reds last played this club in 2010 out there. Were swept in a 3-game series. The Seattle club will go home after Sunday's game and close things out at Safeco Field prior to the All-Star break with 4 games against the Red Sox, 3 against the Angels. Well, the Reds will leave here on Sunday after the game, play 7 games away from home leading to the break. 3 at Milwaukee, 4 in Atlanta. Seager hanging in there against Parra. Ninth pitch of this AB upcoming. Paul chasing into foul ground, goes up into the stands, can't get it.
Oh, and he's hurt himself.
His right arm, he banged it.
Slammed his elbow right on the top of that left field wall where the pad runs out. It's all concrete.
Glove, of course, was on.
Hopefully just the crazy bone.
Almost looked like he might have hyperextended it a little bit out there. It's non-glove hand.
Well, that's a good effort, though.
Sure is. Paul Lassard, the head trainer of the Reds, Dusty Baker, the manager, Cozart, Chu, all checking on the well-being of Xavier Paul. Leadoff man here in the top of the ninth. Seattle in front 4-2. That's his throwing arm, not the arm in which he catches the ball.
Well, the worst part about this is that meanwhile, you got Manny Parra standing on the mound doing nothing, and he's going to have to come back with a 3-2 count. Tell you what, you cannot fault the effort of Xavier Paul right there. Didn't get a bit of help from the fans, though.
Boy, it almost looked like he banged it, scraped it, scraped it, or maybe hyperextended it out there on that cement
Well, that's
wall.
an anti-scrape sleeve right there.
It may not have worked. Dusty and Paul Lassard back to the dugout. Still feeling it. There's no doubt about that. Here comes the 10th pitch now of this at bat.
After a 2-minute timeout.
Manny Parra.
Picked that right where he left off, didn't he?
Look. Six straight foul balls by Seager. Make it 7. Break his bat. Going back to the dugout for new wood.
Probably just worn out. So many foul balls.
There's no hitting that in the bat. I need another one. Hits in this game are even at 6. The Mariners lead 4-2. Are in the top of the ninth. Finally, on the 12th pitch of that AB, Chu will catch the fly ball. Nice job by Manny Parra to retire the leadoff man Seager here in the ninth. He's faced 4, retired 3 of them with the double play ball help. Here comes Dusty Baker.
And let's take a look at the pitch locations in that long at bat. A lot of strikes from Manny Parra. Good job there.
Manny's going to go an inning and a third. On 1 hit, no runs. Dusty Baker will take the ball from Manny Parra, who does a very good job. That's his 12th consecutive scoreless appearance. Sam LeCure will come on. We'll come back with more in a moment. ninth inning. Sam becomes the fourth Reds pitcher here tonight. Appearance number 32, 2.25 ERA for this 29-year-old native of Jeff City, Missouri. Worked once in the Giants series back in the third 2 days ago. 1 inning, 3 strikeouts. Was very sharp in that game on Wednesday. Now he'll work to get out number 2 at least against Mike Zunino here in the ninth. Trying to keep this a 2-run game. High and deep to center. Chu on the track. He'll have room about 3 feet in front of the wall. Zunino is retired. 2 out.
Well, that ball sounded a lot better than it looked. I mean, it sounds like somebody stacking timber when Zunino gets into that breaking ball, but maybe just a hair on the end of the bat.
12 pitches to get Seager, 1 to get Zunino. Dusty stays with LeCure now to get Michael Saunders. Saunders in this game, a home run, a sac fly, and a double play ball. 1 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. First start in a week for him. He got his the middle finger on his right hand, the fingernail crushed. They got it stepped on diving back to first base. That's painful just to talk about. Phillips to his left. Nice job, Sam LeCure. Stage is set for the bottom of the ninth for the Reds. Bruce, Frazier, and Paul. Down 4-2. Play of the game, or in this situation, plays of the game. 3 times the Mariners hit into a double play. Saunders in the 6th. Chavez here in the 7th. And Kendrys Morales in the 8th. That came against Manny Parra. 3 of them tonight. Season high for the Reds. John Merrill hot dog plays of the game. Oliver Perez takes over now. Bottom of the 9th. He does have a save for them this year, but they have their closer Tom Wilhelmsen throwing in the bullpen. I guess he's in to get the lefty Bruce, right?
Well, maybe so. Of course, you've got Xavier Paul after Todd Frazier. Oliver Perez at 35 games overall. This is his 21st game against the Cincinnati Reds, and the first time he's ever come into a ball game as a reliever.
Hey, Bruce has faced him 5 times. He's 0 for 5 with a couple of strikeouts. Leads off here in the bottom of the 9th. He's 0 for 3 in this game. Reds need a base runner to have a chance. Down by a pair at 4-2.
Well, the Mariner people told us before the ball game that Oliver Perez has simply reinvented himself. His fastball is back into the mid-90s. He still has that little bit of a Louis Tion herky-jerky motion. Tries to fool lefties with a little sidearm slider.
Six years ago, he was a 15-game winner for the New York Mets. 5 years ago, he led the National League in starts with 34, also for the Mets. Now he gets Bruce on 4 pitches to start the bottom of the 9th. Now we'll keep an eye on the Seattle dugout.
He does kind of look like the old Oliver Perez. I mean, you're going back to the year 2003 and 2004, where Oliver Perez would routinely come into Cincinnati and strike out 10, 11, even struck out 13 in the ball game in 7 innings against the Reds. Here's the motion that he's going to bring up there. A little bit of a combination. Old Oliver Perez, Louis Tion, little Johnny Cueto thrown in.
Problem with Perez as a starter always seemed to be control. He has a career number of 5 walks per 9 innings pitched.
Yeah, that was a lot of times control between what's between his ears.
Frazier with 1 out.
Which was simply just trying to overthrow the ball.
He does have a save this year. The first one of his big league career.
Now, you really got to hand it to a guy like Perez, because a lot of people have counted him out many, many times. He just keeps coming back and coming back.
Frazier's 1 for 3. Now 1 for 4. Back-to-back strikeouts by Perez of Bruce and Frazier, and the Reds are down to their last crack.
Backdoor breaking ball, and he just freezes Todd Frazier, who evidently just never even saw it.
Now Derek Robinson will pinch hit for Xavier Paul. 4 for 14 as a pinch hitter this year, Robinson. Much better hitter from the right side. His average overall is .261. Batting right-handed this year is at .302. Batting left-handed .212. He pinch hits for Paul. Last chance for the Reds. Down 4-2. 2 out, nobody on, 9th inning. Perez gunning for the save. He picked up a save, the first ever in his big league career, on June the 14th at Oakland in a 3-2 win. Trying to notch his second one here tonight against the Redlegs. Two strikes. Trying to save it for Harang. Trying to hang a loss on Leake. Seattle trying to win the first game of this series and go 9-1 lifetime against the Reds. And Oliver Perez strikes out the side in the 9th, and the Mariners come into Cincinnati and win the first game of this weekend 3-game get-together. The final score, Seattle 4 and the Cincinnati Reds 2. Boy, they took control right from the get-go.
Yeah, they really did. They jumped on Mike Leake really before he got a chance to get settled out there. A triple and a home run in the first, a home run in the second, and really that's all the Mariners needed tonight. They showed some very good pitching. Time for the Reds to get back to the drawing board and try to figure out how to get this offense back on track.
All right, 4-2 the final. Seattle a winner in this game. Reds Live post-game presented by King's Honda is next.